Before leaving on a trip with her friends, my girlfriend told me, "My friends think you're a joke." And honestly, they're not wrong. So while she was away, I packed up and moved out. She came back to an empty place. I'm 33, I work in IT support for a mid-sized logistics company, and I live in a 2-bedroom apartment just outside the city. My routine is predictable. Gym before work, long hours behind a screen, home by 6:30 most nights. I pay my bills on time, keep the place clean, and I'm not flashy, but I'm stable. My girlfriend, Vanessa, is 29. We'd been together a little over 2 years, living together for the last 8 months. She works in event marketing, very social, always out with friends, always planning the next trip or girls' night. On paper, we balanced each other out. I handled the structure. She brought the energy. Last month, she planned a 4-day trip to Miami with 3 of her closest friends. I drove her to the airport at 5 a.m. on a Thursday. Paid for her Uber Eats the night before because she was too stressed to cook. Normal stuff. The night before she left, we were sitting at the kitchen counter while she was packing. She'd had 2 glasses of wine and was FaceTiming one of her friends. At some point, she muted the call, looked at me, and said, almost casually, "My friends think you're a joke, and honestly, they're not wrong." I thought she was kidding. I actually laughed. She didn't. She shrugged and said they just think you're kind of boring. Safe. Predictable. Not really on my level socially. Then she added that sometimes she agreed with them. That I could try harder. That I was lucky she even liked stable guys. She said it like she was doing me a favor. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just nodded and asked what time her flight boarded. She smiled like the conversation was productive. The next morning, I dropped her off, told her to text me when she landed, and drove home to our apartment. That was the last time she saw it the way she left it. When I got back from the airport, I sat in the parking lot for a full minute before going inside. Not because I was emotional, because I was thinking. Vanessa had said worse things before, just not that directly. Little comments about how my clothes were too basic, how I should post more on Instagram, how her friends' boyfriends planned bigger surprises. I always brushed it off because none of it actually mattered to me. But this was different. This wasn't about preferences. It was about respect. If her friends thought I was a joke, that meant she'd let them. People don't come to conclusions like that without material. And the fact that she said they weren't wrong meant she agreed. That was enough for me. I went upstairs, unlocked the door, and walked into the apartment we both technically lived in, but that I paid 80% of. My name was the only one on the lease. Utilities in my name. Internet in my name. Furniture mostly mine from before she moved in. I made coffee, sat at the kitchen table, opened my laptop. First thing I checked was the lease. Month to month after the first year. Good. Second thing I did was log into the bank app and separate our shared grocery account back into my primary. We'd set it up for convenience. I transferred her half of the balance into her personal account and took screenshots. Then I called the leasing office. I didn't dramatize it. I asked what the process would be if I wanted to remove a co-occupant who wasn't on the lease but was listed as an approved resident. The woman explained that since I was the sole leaseholder, I could submit a written notice revoking her occupancy. They'd update the records. Simple. That was important. I wasn't going to do anything messy or illegal. No changing locks without notice. No tossing her stuff on the curb. I wanted it clean. By noon, I'd taken a half day off work. I grabbed moving boxes from the storage closet downstairs and started packing her things. Clothes first, then bathroom products, shoes, makeup. I folded everything properly. I'm not petty. I'm thorough. Around 3 p.m., she texted me a selfie from the plane with a heart emoji. I replied with a thumbs up. Then I kept packing. By the second day of her trip, the apartment looked staged. Not empty, just recalibrated. Anything that was mine was back in its original place. Anything that was hers was boxed, labeled, and stacked neatly against the wall of the second bedroom. I made a list. 6 medium boxes of clothes. 2 small boxes of cosmetics and bathroom stuff. 1 box of random decor she'd added. A suitcase she brought when she moved in. A garment rack she insisted we needed. I itemized it in my notes app with photos. Not because I expected a fight. Because I expect accountability. Thursday night, she sent me a video from a rooftop bar. Loud music. Neon lights. Her friends screaming in the background. The caption read, "Living my best life." One of the girls leaned into the camera and shouted something I couldn't fully hear, but I caught enough. Something about upgrading. Vanessa laughed. Didn't correct her. That was the final confirmation I needed. Friday morning, I emailed the leasing office formally revoking her occupancy effective immediately upon her return. They replied within the hour confirming the update. I printed the email and put it in a folder with the lease copy. Then I called a buddy of mine, Marcus. Told him I might need help moving a few things to a storage unit temporarily. He didn't ask for drama details. Just said tell me when. Saturday, I rented a small climate-controlled storage unit 5 minutes away. Month to month. Cheap. Clean. I moved all her boxes there myself in 2 trips. Kept the key. I left only one thing in the apartment. Her framed photo of us from last year's New Year's party. I placed it face down on the kitchen counter. That night she texted me asking if I missed her. I responded, I think we need to talk when you get back. She sent back a laughing emoji and said, don't be dramatic. Sunday evening, she texted her flight details. Landing at 4:15 p.m. Monday. Asked if I could pick her up. I told her I had work, but wished her a safe flight. I took Monday off. Not to see her. To finish what I started. Monday at 4:37 p.m., she texted me. Just landed. Baggage claim is insane. Where are you? I didn't respond. At 5:12 p.m., she called. I let it go to voicemail. At 5:19, another text. Are you seriously not picking me up? I was sitting on my couch, in a quiet, clean apartment that looked like it did before she moved in. No ring light in the corner. No pile of throw pillows that couldn't be used. No random Amazon packages stacked by the door. I finally replied at 5:30. You'll need to Uber. 3 dots appeared immediately. Why? I kept it simple. We need to talk when you get here. She sent back a long paragraph about how tired she was, how the trip was crazy, how this better not be about what she said because I was being too sensitive. Sensitive. At 6:08 p.m., I heard the elevator down the hall. At 6:11, my door unlocked. She walked in dragging her suitcase, sunburned, wearing oversized sunglasses like she was coming off a press tour. She stepped inside and stopped. The living room was different. Cleaner. Calmer. Where's my mirror? She asked first. Storage. What do you mean storage? I stood up from the couch. I wasn't angry. I wasn't pacing. I had already done all the thinking. Your stuff is packed. It's in a storage unit 5 minutes away. I paid for the first month. After that, it's yours to handle. She blinked like she misheard me. What are you talking about? I told you we needed to talk. She dropped her suitcase. Looked around again. Her shoe rack was gone. The extra bar cart she bought was gone. The wall art she'd hung, without asking, was gone. You're joking. No. She started laughing. That high, sharp laugh she uses when she thinks someone is being ridiculous. Is this about what I said before the trip? Oh my God. You're actually this insecure? I shook my head. It's not about insecurity. It's about agreement. Your friends think I'm a joke because you let them. And you said they're not wrong. She rolled her eyes. It was a comment. You're blowing this way out of proportion. No. I'm reacting proportionally. Her face changed then. Not sad. Not sorry. Annoyed. So what? You're kicking me out? I corrected her calmly. You don't live here anymore. She stared at me like I'd just spoken another language. Don't live here anymore? She laughed again, but it sounded thinner this time. My clothes are here. Not anymore, I said. They're boxed. I have an inventory list and photos. You can pick them up tonight or tomorrow. I'll give you the storage key once you confirm everything's there. You're insane. No. I'm decisive. She stepped closer, lowering her voice like this was something she could smooth over with tone alone. You're seriously throwing away 2 years because I said my friends think you're boring? I corrected her again. Because you agreed with them. And because you're comfortable disrespecting me publicly. I never disrespected you publicly. You laughed when your friend said upgrade. Her mouth opened, then closed. That landed. That was a joke. Jokes are funny. That wasn't. She crossed her arms. So what? You want me to apologize? No. She blinked. No. No. I don't want an apology. I want alignment. And we don't have it. She started pacing. You're overreacting. Everyone talks about their relationships with their friends. That's normal. Talking is normal. Undermining isn't. She shook her head. You're just mad because you're not like their boyfriends. They're outgoing. They actually plan things. They're fun. Then you should date one of them. That stopped her. You don't mean that. I do. Silence stretched between us. Not dramatic. Just clear. She tried a different angle. So where am I supposed to go right now? That's not my responsibility. You were comfortable telling me, I'm lucky, you even like stable guys. So I'm confident you'll find something less boring. That one hit. Her eyes narrowed. You're being cold. I'm being consistent. She looked around again, maybe hoping I'd crack. Maybe waiting for me to say fine, let's just calm down. I didn't. After about 30 seconds, she grabbed her suitcase and headed for the door. "This isn't over," she said. "For me, it is." The door closed, and for the first time in 8 months, my apartment was quiet. I didn't block her immediately. That's something I see people do out of emotion. I wasn't emotional. I was finished. About 20 minutes after she left, my phone started lighting up. First texts. "Are you seriously doing this? You're embarrassing yourself. My friends were right about you." That last one was interesting. Then came the calls. I let them ring. Then voice messages. The first one was angry. She called me dramatic, insecure, small. The second one shifted tone. She said she didn't mean it like that. That I took it the wrong way. That I know how her friends are. By the third voicemail, she sounded different. Not softer. Just calculating. "You're going to regret this. You think you can just replace me?" That confirmed something important. This wasn't about us. It was about status. I sent one final message. "There's nothing to regret. Your belongings are secure. Let me know when you want the storage key." Then I muted the thread. An hour later, my phone rang again. Not her. Her friend Kayla. I let it go to voicemail. Then another call. Different number. Probably one of the Miami crew. I answered that one. It was Kayla anyway. "You're really going to throw Vanessa out over a comment?" I kept my tone even. She wasn't thrown out. She no longer lives in my apartment. "Oh my God, you're being so literal." It was a joke. We tease each other all the time. "You don't date me." She does. Silence. Kayla tried again. She's upset. She feels blindsided. I considered that. She had 4 days to reflect on what she said. She chose rooftop bars instead. Kayla exhaled sharply. "You're proving her point right now." If her point was that I won't tolerate being disrespected, then yes. There was nothing left to debate. After we hung up, I blocked all unknown numbers. Around 9 p.m., Vanessa texted one last time. "Where am I supposed to stay tonight?" I read it. Put the phone face down. That wasn't my problem anymore. Tuesday morning, I went back to work like nothing had happened. That's the part people don't expect. They think there's supposed to be some dramatic spiral. There wasn't. I had meetings. I handled tickets. I fixed a server issue that had been lingering for 2 days. Life continued. Around 10 a.m., Vanessa sent a single text. "Can we just talk like adults?" I replied during my lunch break. "We already did." She called immediately after that. I stepped outside to take it. Her tone was completely different now. Calm. Measured. "I didn't think you'd actually end things over that," she said. "That's the problem." "What is?" "You didn't think I would." She was quiet for a second. I was venting. My friends exaggerate. I exaggerate back. It's not that deep. It is that deep. You don't accidentally agree that your boyfriend is a joke. You're twisting it. No. I'm taking it at face value. She shifted tactics again. "You've been distant for months. You don't plan anything exciting. You don't post us. It feels like you're hiding me." I responded simply. "I don't perform my relationship for your friends. That's not performing. That's being proud of who you're with. I am proud of who I am. I don't need an audience." She exhaled sharply. "So that's it? You're just done?" "Yes." "Just like that?" "Not just like that." After consideration, she tried one last angle. "We lived together. We built a life. We shared space. That's different." Silence again. Then softer. "You're really not going to fight for this?" I answered honestly. "There's nothing to fight. You said what you believe. I believe you." She didn't cry. She didn't apologize. She just said fine. Then hung up. That was the moment I knew I'd made the right decision. Not because she was angry, because she still never once said she was wrong. Over the next few days, the narrative started shifting. Not from me. From her. Mutual acquaintances started reaching out. Not my close friends. People from her side. People who had seen the curated version of our relationship online. "Hey man, heard things ended kind of abruptly. Vanessa's pretty shaken up. She said you kicked her out while she was out of town." That word again. Kicked out. I didn't respond to most of them. The few I did respond to, I kept it simple. It was my apartment. We broke up. Her belongings are secure. No emotion. No defense. Thursday afternoon, Vanessa posted a vague story on Instagram. "Some people can't handle strong women. Know your worth." There were replies. Fire emojis. Crown emojis. Her friends hyping her up in the comments like she survived something dramatic. I watched it without reacting. Then around 8 p.m., she sent another message directly. "I can't believe you're making me look crazy to everyone." That one almost made me laugh. I hadn't posted anything. I hadn't explained anything publicly. I'd gone to work. Gone to the gym. Cooked dinner. That was it. "You made your own story," I replied. "So now I'm the villain?" I didn't answer that. Instead, I asked when she wanted to get her storage unit key. She responded with a paragraph. You know what? Keep it. I don't even care. You're acting like some cold robot. You never even loved me. There it was. The attempt to provoke. I typed once. Deleted it. Then I realized something. There was no reason for my phone to keep lighting up over someone who had already told me how she saw me. So I did what I should have done 3 days earlier. I transferred her number to the blocked list. Then Instagram. Then WhatsApp. Then any shared photo album access. Not dramatic. Not symbolic. Just clean. The silence that followed wasn't tense. It was complete. For the first time since she left for Miami, there was no pending conversation. No incoming text. No next move. Just quiet. I didn't hear from her for 5 days. Not directly. But silence doesn't always mean absence. It just means indirect pressure. Saturday afternoon, I ran into one of her friends at the grocery store. Not by accident. This place isn't near her side of town. She saw me first. Wow. You look fine, she said, like she expected visible damage. I am fine. She tilted her head. Vanessa said you completely shut down. Blocked her everywhere. That's kind of extreme. It's efficient. She crossed her arms. You know she's been staying with Qley, right? She had nowhere to go. That wasn't accurate. She had options. She just didn't expect to need them. I kept my tone neutral. We're not together. She's an adult. She'll figure it out. The friend sighed dramatically. You could have at least talked it through before blowing everything up. We did talk it through. She looked unconvinced. Over one comment. Over one truth. That ended the conversation. When I got home, I realized something important. As long as I was accessible through other people, there was still a thread. So I did one more thing. I archived every shared photo on my social media. Not deleted. Just removed from public view. No announcements. No captions. No emotional posts. Then I sent one message to the only mutual friend I actually respect. If Vanessa needs anything logistical regarding her storage unit, have her email me. Otherwise, I'm not available. That was it. No more phone calls. No more triangulation. No more indirect commentary. I went for a run that evening. Came back. Cooked dinner. Watched a show without someone narrating it over my shoulder. There's a difference between being alone and being at peace. That weekend, I felt the difference clearly. And for the first time since she said I was a joke, I realized something. The only thing embarrassing would have been staying. 2 weeks after I blocked her, I got the email. Subject line was simple. Storage. No emotion in it. No accusations. Just a request for the unit number and gate code so she could retrieve her things. That told me something. The storm phase was over. I replied with the information in a time window when I'd be there to hand over the key in person. Not because I needed closure. Because I wanted the exchange finished cleanly. We met on a Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. in front of the storage facility. Neutral ground. Public place. Efficient. She looked different. Less polished. No dramatic energy. Just tired. You really went through with it, she said as I handed her the key. Yes. She studied me for a second like she was still trying to figure out if this was some long game. Most guys would have begged, she said. I shrugged. Then you dated the wrong type. That almost made her smile, but it faded quickly. You know I didn't actually think you were a joke, right? I didn't respond immediately. I think you did, I said finally. Or at least you were comfortable letting other people think that. That's the same thing. She didn't argue. We walked into the unit. I unlocked it. All her boxes were stacked neatly, labeled. Nothing damaged. Nothing thrown around. You packed this all yourself? Yes. She nodded slowly. For what it's worth, I didn't think you'd have the nerve. That word again. I locked the unit after she went inside and handed her the key permanently. Take care of yourself, I said. That was it. No hug. No dramatic goodbye. No second guessing. I got in my car and drove back to my apartment. My apartment. It wasn't bigger. It wasn't fancier. But it was mine, and it was quiet. People think strength looks loud. Like shouting. Like ultimatums. Most of the time, it looks like this. A decision made once. And never revisited.